Hello and welcome to Raab Journal. I am Calvin Raab. So in this video, we're going to be talking all about the pros and the cons of the Stash investing app. So if you're watching this video, you're probably trying to decide whether or not to download the Stash investing app and start using it. So in this video, I'll talk all about all the pros that I see and the cons. I will allow you to really weigh them, and at the end, I'll give a little bit of final thoughts. So without further ado, let's start with the pro category. Let's talk about what are the great things and things I like about the Stash investing app. Well, there are a lot of them. So the biggest one is you get to buy fractions of ETFs. This is huge. All in all, I think this is really what sold me on the app, was the fact that I could put $5 into a certain ETF. As you saw, some of the ETFs were over $100. And sometimes if you are gradually growing it, you can't spend $100 here, there. So it's great to be able to put in $25, $50 here and there and really spread it out. That is probably the best thing about the app. I think that is fantastic. And then another thing that goes in the pros category is there's no commissions per trade you do. So I can go into Stash and put $5 into this ETF, and I don't have a $4, $5, $6 commission fee, which you would with other big brokers like E-Trade and TD Ameritrade. So that is good. Yes, there are monthly fees, which I will go into a little bit later. That is in the con category. But as far as commissions go, there are none. So that's great. And then another thing, which you probably realize through this app, another pro, is how good it looks. So I love how sleek and clean and easy to understand the Stash investing app is. If you really download it and look through it, you probably won't even need a full review because it's all very easy to understand. This isn't a complex system that you may get with a big broker with kind of a complex website, but it's very simple. I really like the color scheme of it that they have going on. So others found it kind of weird, but I like how everything's laid out. I like how simple it is. They don't bombard you with information like others do. So that definitely goes in the pro category for me. And then lastly, the thing that I see in the pro category is your first month is free, which is great. It's always nice to have that kind of program going. This isn't exceptional. I know pretty much every really online service you have now has 1, 2, 3 months free. So it's not a big deal, but it's always nice to have. Okay, let's now switch over to the con category. What are a few things that I don't really like about the app? Well, the first one, and the most important one, probably the biggest one, is the cost. It is $1 a month, so that's $12 a year. And when you think about it, that may not seem like that much. But if you do the math, that $12 a year can make you really realize that you need a lot of money to begin with just to break even. So how much do you actually need to begin with? Well, let me take you back to high school real quick. I've got a whiteboard right here. Here we are. So in order to figure that out, you need to cross multiply. I am supposing that the stock market will grow 7% each year. If you're wondering where that 7% came from, I did some research and I left an article in the description below talking about why the stock market as a whole tends to go up about 7% each year. And if you're spending $12 to stash, how much do you need to begin with? Cross multiply, and you end up seeing that you need $171.4 just to break even. So that's 7%, that's a little generous. Looking at things, it might be a little bit lower, 6, 5%. So just to break even of that $12 fee, you'll need probably about $200. So if you're trying to start small at 20, 30 and build up, that won't work because you will be in the negatives before you even can make any money. So you will need to put, I'd probably say $300 in just to begin before you can, or $300 just to safely pass so you won't be in the negatives at the end of the year. So that does go in the con category. You will see videos out there saying, oh, Stash is a scam, or it's not worth it, or don't ever put your money in there, you'll lose it. And generally this is the reason, is because of that $1 a month. So you kind of have to take that in consideration. It does go in the con category. I wish it wasn't there. I think a lot more people would be drawn to the app, but it is, so we'll make do. Okay, the next thing that goes under the con category is I wish there were more ETFs to invest in. In my moderate risk account, I only had 36 that I could invest in, and I do wish there were more, because as I look on my TD Ameritrade account or even in Robinhood, there are a lot more great ETFs that I'd love to invest in, and I just wish Stash had them there. I wish they had a wider range of ETFs to invest in. And on that same note, I wish it took more in different fields of the economy and the stock market. It does hit the big ones, but I wish it hit a few more minute ETFs. So those are my only things I don't like about ETFs, but otherwise I'm happy with it. They give me good ones, and I'm not complaining about that. So another thing to go back to that I don't really like is they don't have a website. They only have that mobile app. And the mobile app is great, but sometimes when I'm trading, I like to have all of my screens open in front of me, and it's kind of tough going back and forth to either my phone or my iPad, but it's not such a big deal. I'm very happy with the app, so that's one of the smaller things. And then another thing that I do wish I could do is, if you've realized, you can't look at risk ETFs that are above yours. And what I mean by that is, if you have a conservative risk profile, you can't see the moderate risk account. So you can't see some of the ETFs that I showed you. And then taking that up another level, I can't see the aggressive portfolio ETFs. And I do wish I could, because I do want to invest in those. There are a few ETFs that I'd want to be aggressive. That's sort of my investing nature, is I'm more of an aggressive investor. So I want to do that. I want to see them. And it's kind of annoying that, oh, I can't see them and they won't even let me have the opportunity to really do so. So I do wish that I could do that. It would even give me more ETFs to choose from, so it would be kind of like a win-win. But that does go in the con category. I wish I could invest in those ETFs. And then lastly, one thing that I talked a little bit about in the video too, is I wish the graphs were a little bit better. The graphs they have they do the trick, but they're very simple, as you saw. I wish they were a little more in-depth and I could play with them a little bit more, set different parameters and things like that. I just wish they were a little more of an advanced graph, that kind of thing. But I get the idea that this is just a platform where you can get a general idea of the ETF. It's not a day trading kind of thing. So I understand why they have the graphs, but I do wish they were a little more in-depth. Okay, so I hope that helped you understand really all the pros and the cons of the Stash Investing app, and hopefully led you to a decision. If not, if you're still on the fringe on whether or not you should really use the app, you will want to check out my Stash Investing app full and complete overview and review of the app. I'll leave a description of that below. It just goes into more detail on everything you see here. And also, if you want to see my portfolio, kind of how I'm working with it, how I'm playing with it, investing with it, you can check out my Stash series, which is a series of episodes where each episode we go back into my Stash portfolio and we look over the winners and the losers, talk a little bit about the stock market, and it's a good idea to go watch because you can look at the stock market better. So I hope this helped. As always, thank you very much for watching. I am Calvin Raab for Raab Journal, and I'll see you soon.